सो हेलो हेलो गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू स्पोर्ट्स विद ताउस SWT। और हम आज बात करने वाले हैं वर्ल्ड कप पे। वर्ल्ड कप, क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप नहीं, क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप तो खत्म हो गया। यहाँ पर आने वाला है उससे भी बड़ा वर्ल्ड कप, वो है फीफा वर्ल्ड कप, फीफा फुटबॉल वर्ल्ड कप, विच इज टू बी हेल्ड इन कतार। कतार यानी कुछ दिनों बाद, कपल ऑफ डेज लेटर, आप देखेंगे लायनल मेसी और रोनाल्डो को अपने स्किल्स, अपने फुटबॉल स्किल्स दिखाते हुए, और शायद ये उनका आखिरी वर्ल्ड कप भी हो सकता है। बट दोस्तों, एक बहुत बड़ी बात है, आज का जो वीडियो है, आज का जो इंटरेक्शन है, बहुत ही ज्यादा एक्साइटिंग होने वाला है, क्योंकि आज हम बात करने वाले हैं कतर 2022, द टाइनी नेशन दैट ड्रीम्ड बिग के ऑथर एनडी प्रशांत से, जो कि सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट भी हैं। और ये बुक बहुत ज्यादा हलचल मचा रही है इस वक्त दुनिया में, और बहुत ज्यादा एक्साइटमेंट क्रिएट कर रही है, और बहुत ज्यादा कंट्रोवर्सीज और डिबेट भी क्रिएट कर रही है। तो हमारे साथ हैं प्रशांत, एनडी प्रशांत, सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट और मेरे पुराने कलीग रह चुके हैं। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका प्रशांत भाई, स्पोर्ट्स विद ताउस पे। और हमारा ये नया वेंचर है, आई होप यू आर लाइकिंग इट, लॉट ऑफ स्टोरीज related to cricket and a lot of other sports. Welcome to this channel, Prashant bhai.
Hi, thanks, Taus. Thanks for inviting me here. It's a pleasure.
प्रशांत भाई, तो यू लुकिंग वेरी एक्साइटेड कंसिडरिंग कतर 2022 आ रहा है, और आपकी किताब भी एकदम राइट टाइम पे लॉन्च हो गई है। क्या बुक है ये आपकी?
ताउस, तुझे पता तो होगा ही कि एशियन एज के बाद मैं सीधा कतार ही गया था 2006 एशियन गेम्स के टाइम पे। तो काफ़ी टाइम वहाँ पे बिताया, यू कैन से टिल 2013। फिर उसके बाद गल्फ टाइम से मैं मूव होके गल्फ न्यूज़ चला गया दुबई में। सो काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस था। और मेरे टाइम में जब वहाँ पे था तभी कतार ने बिड जीता था, तो इट वाज ऑलवेज देयर द टॉप ऑफ माय माइंड कि एक बुक लिखा जाए। The timing wouldn't have been right. So yeah, the book is out, and yeah, it's doing pretty okay, to say. Yeah.
आई एम श्योर इट्स नॉट डूइंग प्रीटी ओके, इट्स डूइंग मच मच बियॉन्ड दैट, और एक्सेलेंट मुझे लगता है सेल्स हो रहे हैं, क्योंकि ये फुटबॉल वर्ल्ड कप सिर्फ फुटबॉल के बारे में नहीं है, ये बहुत सारी चीजों के बारे में है, बहुत सारे मसालेदार चीजों के बारे में है। अनफॉर्चुनेटली बहुत सारे कंट्रोवर्सीज भी को लेकर भी इश्यूज हैं यहाँ पर कतर फुटबॉल वर्ल्ड कप को लेकर। तो इज दिस बुक बियॉन्ड फुटबॉल? कुछ ऐसी बातें हैं जो फुटबॉल के परे भी हैं ये किताब में, कि हाईलाइट क्या
Absolutely.
रखा है आपने इस किताब का?
एब्सोल्युटली, ये जो परसेप्शन है कि मिडिल ईस्ट में फुटबॉल कल्चर नहीं है, या कतार एक छोटा सा कंट्री है, एंड यू नो इट हैज़ टू चेंज, इट्स अ मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड है, तो बहुत सारे एप्रीहेंशंस है यहाँ पे वर्ल्ड कप हो रहा है इसीलिए। बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि फुटबॉल इज डजंट जस्ट बिलोंग टू यूरोप, यू नो, और द वेस्ट। इट बिलोंग्स टू अदर पार्ट ऑफ द ग्लोब एज वेल। सो इट वाज हाई टाइम कि वहाँ पे एक फुटबॉल आए। एंड इंथुजियाज्म आप इंडिया में देखेंगे तो मैक्सिमम लोग इंडिया से जा रहे हैं देखने को। सो दो इंडिया में अभी तक इंडिया ने इतना फुटबॉल में इतना ये नहीं किया है, बट स्टिल इट्स अ बिग थिंग। और चेंज इज इनएविटेबल, चेंज तो होना ही है। लॉट ऑफ कंट्रोवर्सीज, ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशन, अल्कोहल, आज मैंने न्यूज़ पे पढ़ा कि दे हैव टेकन अ यू टर्न, अल्कोहल नहीं होगा वहाँ पे। सो दैट इज गोइंग टू ट्रिगर, 2 दिन बाकी है, अब आप यू टर्न ले रहे हो, तो दैट इज ऑल्सो नॉट नाइस। But yeah, it is up to FIFA to decide. You know, FIFA is the governing body. They should have put certain parameters in line first only. तो यहाँ तक इतना कंट्रोवर्सीज नहीं होता। अब 10 साल हो चुका है, 10 साल बाद भी अभी लास्ट मिनट पे फिर भी ह्यूमन राइट्स के कंट्रोवर्सीज चल रहे हैं, which is a little bit taking the away from the football. Like as you said, Ronaldo, Messi का last event है, so everybody wants to see them in action. So मेरे हिसाब से अभी इट्स टाइम टू फोकस ऑन फुटबॉल। अभी ये 2 दिन में तो वर्ल्ड कप जाने वाला नहीं है, वहां पे ही होने वाला है। सो माइट एज वेल फोकस ऑन फुटबॉल एंड एंजॉय द कल्चर, द मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड। अंडरस्टैंड करे, यू कम टू द मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड, you have to understand their culture, their tradition, their food. It's not just football, you enjoy everything, right? So I feel it's a good opportunity for the world to be there, and see how the world is changing, you know, and what is a Muslim world is all about. It's not about women's abuse or just human rights violation or terrorism or whatever they think are there in their mind. They are also normal people living there who wants to enjoy football.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a sport, and who doesn't want to enjoy? But you're saying let's shift the focus from one part, the controversial part, the human rights part, to football. तो यहाँ पर human rights की अगर बात करें तो क्या exactly can did you go deeper into those kind of issues in your book? वो book में exactly आपने क्या divulge किया है, क्या आपने reveal किया है? थोड़ा सा obviously you won't say a lot about the book whatever you have written because readers क्या पढ़ेंगे फिर इसके बाद अगर सब आपने बोल दिया तो बट एग्जैक्टली ऊपर से बताइए कि
नहीं,
क्या
एब्सोल्युटली ये
इश्यूज
ह्यूमन
थे जो
ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेशन जो है वो है, because it is like they had to construct so many stadiums, but then you have to understand कि ये सिर्फ उनके कतारी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट के ऊपर नहीं है, it also depends on what conducive environment the football constructing companies have provided, and there are many western organizations who are involved in it. So उनका ऊपर भी जिम्मेदारी बनते हैं कि conducive environment provide किया जाए, so that the workers are in a good position. और इसके अलावा भी जब मैं वहां पे गया हुआ, जब 2005 में गया गया था कतार, तभी तो बहुत इससे ज्यादा वायलेशंस थी, बट अभी इफ यू कंपेयर दैट इट हैज कम अ लॉन्ग वे, एंड टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट वी ऑल आर इकोनॉमिक रेफ्यूजीज, जो इंडिया में जो सैलरी नहीं कमा सकते हैं वो लोग वहां पे जाके कमाते हैं, यू नो। सो अगर वो ही आदमी अभी वायलेशन की अगर बात करे, तो अगर इंडिया में भी 8 घंटा का काम बोल के यू आर एंडिंग अप वर्किंग फॉर 12 to 14 hours, हु इज गोइंग टू सी दैट, राइट? तो ये तो एवरीबडी इन एवरी कंट्री इट हैपेंस टू एन एक्सटेंट. Yes, change has to, there should be some pressure put on the Qatari government, not only Qatari government, it is in the entire Middle East, huh? It is not just Qatar. If you go to UAE, Kuwait, or any other region, Saudi Arabia, you have this same issues, because these countries are so expat driven, they are dependent on, unka pura dependency is on the workers, you know, expat workers to do their daily thing, आपका दूध पहुंचाना या आपका cleaning, to your markets, to everything is run by our people. So if you see Indians are the maximum people staying in Qatar. Over 7.5 to 8 lakh people are staying there. So it's huge. And same with the similar other part of the Middle East. तो डिपेंडेंसी एक्सपैट्स पे जो भी कंट्रीज पे होता है, तो उनके ऊपर भी एक ये रहता है कि ओके सम इन्फ्लक्स ऑफ सो मेनी पीपल आर कमिंग, सो दे आल्सो ट्राई टू सेफगार्ड देयर बिजनेस इंटरेस्ट. बट यस, वी हैव टू प्रेस फॉर चेंज, और ये इट इज द राइट टाइम टू प्रेस फॉर चेंज. But I feel it is being little too much now. With football is just around the corner. BB, you are like trying to hit the underbelly. So it would not happen in a day. You know, it will take some time, but they are on the right path.
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली. अगर आप देखेंगे तो इंडिया या एशियन नेशंस, इंडिया, पाकिस्तान, नेपाल, ये सब जगह जो लेबर्स होते हैं वो ऑब्वियसली चीप लेबर्स जाते हैं, एक्सपैट यहाँ से जाते हैं मिडिल ईस्ट, वहां पर जाके एक्सट्रीम वेदर में काम करते हैं. यहाँ पर होम कंट्रीज में भी, इंडिया में भी काफी एग्रीकल्चर भी देखेंगे तो एक्सट्रीम वेदर्स में भी होता है. नॉर्दर्न ऑफ इंडिया, नॉर्थ साइड ऑफ इंडिया आप देखेंगे थ्रू द, सुबह से शुरुआत होती है, रात तक, शाम तक काम होता रहता है. आप हल चलाते हैं, प्लो चलाते हैं थ्रू द फील्ड्स, एंड इट्स नॉट इजी. सो वी आर यूज्ड टू it, but yeah, obviously nobody should take advantage of the cheap labor which comes from it. But getting further ahead in the abusive rights, like how did you, what kind of research did you go through, what exactly you difficulties you faced when you were writing this kind of book, Qatar
See, to
2022,
be
the
to be
nation that
very
dreamed
honest,
big?
Taus, if you ask me to today to go to fly down to Qatar to see the football World Cup, I will not go, because I don't know whether I would be arrested or no. So I would not take a chance. The restrictions for media is there. It is very limited. Media, uh, I mean, the freedom of press is very limited in not only in Qatar to other parts. Uh, so you have to be very cautious. So if I would have been in Qatar, and I would have written this book, probably would have never seen the light of day. You know, so thankfully I am now in the Europe and I can write this. But still, it is a well balanced book, because it is through my experience, what I have seen being there, covering events and being with the sheikhs, or just going for the press conferences, and what I have seen how things work there. Okay, so of course, if you write about the establishment, you are going to land up in trouble. That is there. So it can have it is very natural. It is not a democratic country. It is run by the emirs. So they safeguard their interests like that. But there's a
Absolutely.
lot of things that have changed slowly. But yeah,
Absolutely. And a lot of people are accepting it also. I mean, you have different cultures, Asian cultures देखेंगे, Middle Eastern cultures देखेंगे, European cultures देखेंगे, American वहाँ पर उस तरफ. So everybody have their own style of living, everybody have their own style, everybody have their own climatic conditions. Everybody, it's a difference. You should enjoy the culture, you should enjoy the whole environment, the which has been blessed. We are blessed to be living in this world with variety of cultures. Anyway, going further, what were your experiences? Can you आप बता सकते हैं आपके experiences क्या थे जब आप बोले कि 2005 में आप कतर गए, वहां पर आपने न्यूज पेपर्स में काम किया और
एक
मीडिया इंडस्ट्री के थ्रू, तो आपका परसेप्शन क्या बना और क्या
एक
एग्जैक्टली आपने डिस्कवर किया? कोई
एक
एग्जांपल, कोई
एक
एनेक्डोट बताइए जरा.
एक थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग ऐसा चीज है जो जब मैंने उसका रेज्यूमे भेजा था जब गल्फ टाइम्स में. So my editor, I've written it in the book also. So my editor Anil John wrote back, saying that if you shake the shakes wrong way, you get shaken. you know so it was very interesting. I had put some hard hitting अपना controversial stories जो मैंने बॉम्बे में किए थे वो सब अटैच करके भेजा था और रिप्लाई में ये. So if you want to leave your journalism culture back home and come, then your hardcore journalism back home, then the job is yours. ऐसा लिखा था उन्होंने. So but that's it, that restrictions है. But thankfully, like we are doing sports coverage, right? I'm not going to write about anything controversial in sports. So मेरे लिए it was a nice experience. Asian Games वहाँ पे हो रहा था. Then they bid for almost every event, like the MotoGP night race से लेके the best tennis events, the best Qatar Open golf to the cycling events. So you get to meet the best athletes, top athletes come there. Take it Federer or Nadal or whoever you name it, they are there. So it was a great experience, and people are not there are not so many journalists, going to get those interviews. So you are just literally sitting one on one with them and taking the interview. So you will not get that experience anywhere else. So it was a great learning curve.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's I hope, and I think it's a beautiful country. I would love to go one day to that place. But tell me one thing. I mean, going further into a bit of controversies, I'm being an interviewer. I will question you because you have written a book on it. What exactly? I mean, Gareth Southgate the England manager had once said that he's sad that a lot of his England fans won't be LGBTQ fans won't be able to go to the World Cup in Qatar out of fear. वो फैक्टर आप
Yeah,
कैसे देखते द होल, बिकॉज इट्स अ टबू ओवर देयर एंड आई मीन
it's a taboo in the entire Muslim world.
या
So it is a taboo in the entire Muslim world. So it is not just because the country doesn't want or the establishment doesn't want change, because it's there are a lot of people who are there. The clerics are there. It's not going to change. It's in the culture, right? आज तुम एक ही दिन में आप सोचोगे कि आज ही मैं कल्चर चेंज करूंगा, आज मैं बोलूंगा कि अल्कोहल पीना चालू कर दो, या आज मैं बोलूंगा कि अबाया मत पहनो. इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क. यू हैव टू एक्सेप्ट ईच अदर्स कल्चर. अभी वो है. ओके, आई अंडरस्टैंड कि यहाँ पे वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में इट इज वेरी ओपन. द गे कम्युनिटी वॉकिंग अराउंड, यू कैन सी पीपल होल्डिंग हैंड्स और स्मूचिंग अराउंड द रोड और एनीथिंग. It's very, they are used to that culture. But just imagine tomorrow you immediately get that into somebody else's system. It is going to shake anybody. हम अभी भी बोलते हैं कि ओके यार, ओके यू शुड हैव अ स्विमिंग पूल. यू जस्ट इमेजिन हैविंग अ स्विमिंग पूल इन बॉम्बे आल्सो. आई विल नॉट बी कंफर्टेबल इन सेंडिंग माय वाइफ टू द स्विमिंग पूल विद 10 men standing on the top of the balcony and looking at, because that is not there in the culture. It would take some time. It will take some time, and you have to be the way people live in Bandra and the way people live in Thane. It's completely different. There is a difference in the way they are brought up and where we are in Thane. That it takes some time. हर चीज एक ही दिन में you can't accept all those things. Okay, you walk around in a bikini and people won't notice you. It is not going to happen. It takes time. Slowly the acceptance होता है. और वही है उधर भी, मिडिल ईस्ट में भी. It is their system, their culture. So when you are going to a country, you have to accept what is there in that country. अब आप बोल रहे हो अल्कोहल, आपको अल्कोहल पीना है तो ओके, आप अपने देश में पियो. You are going there to enjoy their culture, their tradition, their food habits. So just respect their culture. I'm not saying कि हाँ अभी ये जो इन्होंने किया लास्ट मिनट यू टर्न, इट्स कंप्लीटली अनकॉल्ड फॉर. अगर आपको पहले ही बैन करना था तो आप पहले ही कर देते. यू नो So it is abhi, Southgate wants to change, I understand, but it's not going to happen immediately. तो यू हैव टू सी दैट. अभी आपको देखना है कितना चेंजेस ये वर्ल्ड कप के बाद आएगा. you know so you see the changes which is happening in Iran, for example. It is happening, there is a revolution happening there, so it will take some time. People will come out in the open, and now social media is so people are using social media so much, everything is there out in the open, so everybody knows what is happening all around the globe. you know so there has to be, and they are a big rich country. They have, you are so much now. If you see the stance and the way they talk in the Qatari establishment speaks, it's only because now they are a powerhouse for gas. The Europe needs them more than any time before. you know with the Russian problems happening, the world is looking towards them for to provide them with the gas. So they know that what is their importance in the world. So yeah, let's see how the World Cup goes, and then let's see. The main concern मेरे इसमें ऐसा है कि ओके अभी उन्होंने जो चेंजेस लाया है या रिफॉर्म्स लाया है लेबर्स के लिए, और वो सब वो कंटिन्यू करेंगे कि नहीं. अगर वो कंटिन्यू नहीं करेंगे देन इट्स अ सेटबैक. बट करेंटली जो उन्होंने प्रॉमिस किया है और जो उन्होंने ग्राउंड लेवल पे काम किया है, व्हाट दे से, इफ इट इज ट्रू देन इट इज नाइस, बट दे हैव टू कंटिन्यू सो दैट इट रिमेन्स. क्योंकि ऐसा ना हो जाए कि ये वर्ल्ड कप खत्म हो गया फिर वापस लेबर्स लोग के ऊपर चालू हो गया, एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स, सो देन इट इज अ रॉन्ग थिंग. बट currently they are trying to change.
Absolutely. And talking about this, the timing of the tournament, a lot of people have questioned over the time, like खास करके जो Europeans हैं, जो people who follow the league, the big leagues in the Europe, have they
Absolutely, it
questioned the
is
timing of
clashing.
the tournament? What exactly is it? Can you delve into it, because you have followed the game and the build up of the World Cup in Qatar?
See, it is clashing with their timings of their tournament, so naturally it is going to affect them. It impacts them, right? They have to stop the English Premier League midway and the Bundesliga and everything midway, and then focus onto the World Cup and then start it again. But you have to understand that how are you going to take football to other parts of the world? यू नो ओके अभी समर वहां पे है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि मिडिल ईस्ट में आप कभी वर्ल्ड कप दोगे नहीं. ओके इंडिया में नहीं है, 1.2 बिलियन पीपल आर देयर, वी विल नेवर गेट अ फुटबॉल टूर्नामेंट. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता ना. यू हैव टू टेक इट टू अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. अगर आप एक ही सीजन और एक ही टाइम पकड़ के बैठोगे तो सिर्फ यूरोप को ही मिलता रहेगा. Europe will be the only people who will be getting the World Cup. They will be the only hosting. अभी तो आप 48 nations होने वाला है 2026 से, उसी पे भी लोगों को तकलीफ हो रहा है. So it is basically they are also trying to safeguard their interests. That is very very true. They also are just thinking about their interests. They are not bothered what is happening in other part of the world. I would also go to an extent to use they are ignorant to other part of the world. That is also there. So you have to understand ki boss, there are people living there. They have their own problems also. The problems are only not here, not only when it comes to Europe. They make a lot of noise. Otherwise, वहाँ पे भी problems हो रहा है, उसकी किसी को चिंता नहीं है. So I have written a little chapter on how Qatar played a role in Afghan, when US exited Afghan. So what they played a mediator's role, and I've given some example of people whom I met here, Afghanis, who felt that they were really put them on the wrong, and they had to leave their country because how the way US exited the country. So उनका ट्रबल्स भी यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. आई मेट सो मेनी रेफ्यूजीज हियर जो बोल रहे हैं कि रातों रात हमसे सब कुछ छीन लिया गया. दे हैव नथिंग, नो वेयर टू गो, एंड दे आर फोर्स्ड टू लीव द कंट्री. तो वो भी सब चीजें है जो हमें देखना चाहिए. सो इट इज जस्ट, you cannot just think only about Europe.
Absolutely, and you're being stern. But while reading the index of your book, the contents, they are really interesting. For example, the migrant issue के ऊपर एक आपने बात किया है, जो हमने पहले ही बात किया, migrant issues, जहाँ इंडिया, नेपाल, बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान से लोग आके काम करते हैं और ह्यूमन राइट्स अब्यूज, उसके ऊपर पहले बात किया, शेख मोजा एंड वुमेन्स एम्पावरमेंट। तो कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग चीजें, द अल जजीरा, द स्टार्ट, द जर्नी एंड द कंट्रोवर्सीज, राइज ऑफ द अमीर शेख तमीम, तो बहुत सारे इंटरेस्टिंग इश्यूज हैं। तो कुछ हाईलाइट करके बताएंगे आप कि ये सब क्या है एग्जैक्टली, एंड
Yeah, I wrote
स्पेशली
about
यूके
Sheikha.
रशियन वॉर, या यूके एंड रशियन
Yeah,
वॉर एज वेल, हाउ।
see the UK, and suddenly there is now, the Russia is all, it's like they have already shut the tap types, to the Europe. So now they have to look for other ways to get gas. Now the winter is setting, it's already now outside is getting into 3 degrees and 2 degrees. In next week I would be into the minus. So already like room rents have gone up types. They are trying to put a cap on that, so that so it is, there will be a price hike in everything, commodities से लेके सब में hike हो चुका है. We can understand, we when we see our bills now, we know कि it is not going to be easy in the coming months. But so that's why suddenly the gas, Qatar is has the third largest gas reserves. तो अभी सबका नजर उनके तरफ है. So they, like for example, Germany is after Qatar, but Qatar is asking them to sign a contract for 25 years, which Germany is not willing to do. And Qatar is also saying that, okay, then we will not get into a deal with you all. So their importance have also grown. So they have understood कि हाँ अभी ठीक है, हम मार्केट में है, अभी हमारी जरूरत है. So now the demand is there, and they are the only sole people who can supply that. So naturally Qatar is in a better position now. So whatever they have invested for the football, they are going to easily recover that, irrespective of how the event goes or whatever it goes. They are going to recover. Their economy is going to bounce back. I mean, they were never, they were never in a problem because they have reserves for more than 100 years. So they are a very, very, very rich country.
Absolutely, you can see that. Or were you getting into the Sheikh Moza story? I'm very much interested to know कैसा है women empowerment. आपका एक चैप्टर है शेख मोजा एंड वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट, थोड़ा अगर आप बताएंगे उसके बारे में तो थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा रीडर व्यूअर्स के लिए.
See, Sheikha Musa, when I went there, she was like the face, face of Qatar types, like people used to even go to the extent of saying that she is the brainchild behind Qatar growing and all those things. But yeah, so she has a more own style of dressing up, which was very popular. The way she used to wear the abaya with the designer, where it was like she was creating a trend with her designs and stuff. So yeah, so she did a lot of for education, uh, wise and all that. She was doing a lot of stuff. So that's what I mentioned ki, yeah, there in the Middle East, it's a very rare sight to see where women are in the forefront. So she was there to, and she also, almost everybody in the Qatari family, the kids are educated, well educated. And so there is a lot of emphasis that she brought in to make sure that the education level is quite high in Qatar, by roping in a lot of universities from US and other parts of the globe. Yeah.
एब्सोल्युटली. और मैं बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्टेड हूँ बुक पढ़ने में, क्योंकि आपके फुटबॉल के बियॉन्ड टॉपिक्स हैं, और सिर्फ फुटबॉल ही नहीं है, फुटबॉल के बियॉन्ड उसके अलावा उनकी लाइफस्टाइल कतर की, एंड एनीबडी हु वांट्स टू फॉलो व्हाट इज कतर एग्जैक्टली. बट कतर के बारे में बताइए कि हैव यू पुट एनीथिंग अबाउट लाइक वेयर प्लेसेस टू विजिट और थिंग्स टू डू इन कतर? क्या एग्जैक्टली
Yeah, the
कुछ
book
डाला है आपने
I have,
किताब में
I
हमें?
have. See, it's a very small place, small country. So yeah, there's not much to. It will not take much of a time, but they are invested so heavily. There are places like you can go for a nice sand dune bashing. I mean, you can see a lot of museums are there. I mean, it's a beautiful country, and the weather currently is fantastic. It's a best time to be there. You can see around there a lot of good restaurants. Of course, you can sit and in some bars and drink. So there is lots to see about the culture, interesting food and stuff. So it's a small country, and I'm sure. I mean, people who come to Qatar would like to also visit Dubai. So now Dubai are offering a lot of chartered flights where we can go for the match and come back the same day. So this World Cup is going to, I mean, also help other countries, surrounding countries. For example, Iran is also having some tourism offers and stuff. So Dubai is trying to exploit this World Cup and make the most out of it. I mean, their tourism also would definitely get a boost. I don't think people who travel all the way to Qatar would miss out going to Dubai. So it's going to help the entire region. It's not, and also for India. I mean, there are so many people. I mean, they have their hotels, restaurants. A lot of Indians have there, and it would be good business for them at this time, for sure.
Absolutely, and 1 million, more than 1 million people are expected to be in Qatar to watch the football World Cup. It's a small country. You said 2 घंटे में ही घूम जाते लोग पूरे कतार, दोहा. तो क्या ये हैंडल कर सकता है? किस तरह से
यस,
हैंडल कर पाएंगे? आपने
ये
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर
एक
देखा होगा
ये
पर्सनली.
एब्सोल्युटली, ये एक ही चीज है ताउस, जो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है इट वुड बी अ ह्यूज लॉजिस्टिकल चैलेंज. क्योंकि अगर हम जब भी वहां पे भी एक एमीर कप फाइनल या कोई भी मेजर मैच के लिए जाते थे, तो आई यूज टू एटलीस्ट गो 2 to 3 hours in advance just to get into the stadium, occupy the press media box, क्योंकि the roads get choco blocked. अगर आप पहले नहीं निकले तो स्टेडियम से बाहर आना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. द रोड्स आर ब्लॉक. तो ये सबसे बड़ा लॉजिस्टिकल चैलेंज है. आई डोंट नो हाउ कतार इज गोइंग टू हैंडल दैट. इन अ डे देयर आर 2 to 3 मैचेस, क्रिस क्रॉसिंग द कंट्री, द अमाउंट ऑफ फैंस आ जाएंगे इतना सारा. it would be a huge logistical challenge, and that's why I feel they are the countries, neighboring countries play an important role. अब ये डिपेंड करता है कितने फैंस दुबई में रह के ट्रैवल करना चाहेंगे बैक एंड फोर्थ. बट आई रेड एन आर्टिकल सेइंग कि वहां पे रहना सस्ता है, दुबई में रह के ट्रैवल करके वापस आना इट वुड बी इजियर देन spending money in hotels there. It's more expensive. They are trying to promote it that way, तो बेसिकली इतना सारा लोग एक साथ आएगा, तो आई डोंट नो हाउ दे आर गोइंग टू हैंडल. इट इज अ ह्यूज लॉजिस्टिकल. दैट इज वेयर माय आईज वुड बी, हाउ दे आर गोइंग टू. आई फील, I just hope that it doesn't trigger another controversy. you know Otherwise, hosting the event and the venues, it's going to be unbelievable. It would be mind blowing. They would put up a show, but how they are going to manage the crowd, I don't know how they are going to do that. It's a big logistical challenge.
Absolutely, and I've seen a lot of volunteers going from India as well. Can you take us through the stadiums? Like how many stadiums will be hosting the World Cup? Apparently 7 स्टेडियम हैं, और थोड़ा एक विजुअल टूर करा दीजिए. विजुअली नहीं, मगर अपने शब्दों से, अपने बातों से
The
थोड़ा
stadiums,
एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए.
most of them are नए के नए बने हैं. So it's like spectacular. One of the main things, it's like, I don't think you will end up seeing stadiums like that. It's whatever I have seen through virtual images and stuff, and I've been in touch with friends there. It's superb. It's unbelievable. Lot of things around it. And the main thing is, they when they did the bid also, they planned it in such a way that they would be dismantling some of the stadiums and sending to third world countries. So they pitched it in a very right way. Of course, there might be a lot of people who must have come up with the ideas for them, and that also might be Westerners who must have given them the ideas. But they have pitched it in such a way that it's not going to be like what happened in South Africa or Brazil, and they ended up creating a lot of debt after the World
White
Cup revision,
elephants.
and after that they couldn't remove the construction. The sites are remaining empty. Nothing is happening on those stadiums. It is not going to happen. They are already, if you know, they are also hosting the Asian Cup. They were already hosting Asian Cup, so they have lined up a lot of events in the next 10 years. So they would make sure that they would make the most of these venues. Yeah. So I have no doubt about it. And if you see, there's a lot of cry about they have spent so much amount, but that was the plan for 20 till 2030. So only thing is they have done the process. They have fastened the things, the railway network to everything. They have speeded up. I mean, they made sure that everything is ready well before for the World Cup. So you cannot, they started off slowly in the late 90s. So they had ample of time to develop the country. And as soon as they got the World Cup, they went into they just stepped up the gear. They put the pedal, and then it was like, and you have the money. They don't have to worry at all कि I don't have the money, अभी ये bridge construct नहीं हो सकता या ये नहीं. They just have to it comes from the royal family, right? So they can just decide, okay, ये जगह just make something here and something there. It was just about getting things together. So I have no doubt that they would make the most of the venues there, and it would be spectacular. I am the opening ceremony. Say you take, I will not leave my chair. I will be watching every match, and to be very honest, yeah, very much looking forward.
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली। और कुछ इंडियंस भी जा रहे हैं, तो इंडियंस के लिए कुछ है सजेशंस कि क्या करना चाहिए वहां पर, क्या खाना चाहिए वहां पर, सबसे ज्यादा क्या मिलेगा आपको, और जेब भर के पैसा लेके जाना चाहिए?
I feel Indians would be the best behaved people, right? So, other than the Europeans traveling there. Okay, because yeah, it is in our blood. Yeah, we go there. We are the easy go people. You go there, you enjoy there. You won't be enter. Indians won't enter into much of a fight. Indian team is not playing there, so you just sit back, relax, meet your friends. I'm sure most of them would be traveling, would know someone or the other in the Middle East. I mean, in Qatar, they might be having their relatives, their friends, or somebody or the other. So that's a nice place to go there. And those who have never been to a World Cup, what else? You take a 2.5 hour flight and you are there. To see a World Cup, you won't get a better chance to be at a World Cup which is at such a close proximity from your country. And if given me a choice, I would have been there without fail. Just been there to see the match. It's simply, you shouldn't avoid to miss when you have Messi who would be playing his final tournament, right? So any football fan, I'm sure they would love to be there given a chance.
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली। बट प्रशांत भाई, एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ मैं, समथिंग वेरी इंडियन, कंसिडरिंग मैं वी आर इंडियंस एंड वी वुड लव टू सी इंडिया होस्ट फीफा वर्ल्ड कप वन डे। हमने ऑलरेडी 2 होस्ट कर लिया, अभी रिसेंटली वुमेन अंडर 17 किया, उसके पहले इंडिया बॉयज अंडर 17 वर्ल्ड कप किया फीफा के। तो हमको क्या सीखना चाहिए कतर से? कतर बीइंग अ स्मॉल नेशन, हमारा भी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अच्छा ही है, हमारे पास पैसे हैं, हमारे पास रिसोर्सेज हैं, हमारे पास वी हैव अ गुड ह्यूज प्लेसेस, we have hosted a lot of cricket world cups, and we hosted a commonwealth games. So are we like, what should we learn, and can we host a
How's
world cup, FIFA world cup?
we obviously we can host a World Cup, and we will have better people, better spectator, crowd, fan following, everything. The only thing is, do we have the money and resources like what Qatar had? FIFA is also is FIFA willing to give us the World Cup? See, as soon as we when we talk about the World Cup, then immediately the Western world would say, what is the pedigree of your football? Like for example, for Qatar, they are facing the same thing, though they are the Asian champions. They are the Asian champions. Qatar is the Asian champion. So it's not that they have not done well. They have previous histories as well where they have made it to the semis of stuff of FIFA events. So it is not that. But are they willing to give it to us? Is that thing? And then it is also the money. Do we have the resources? Do we have the infrastructure to spend that much amount? And I still remember Commonwealth Games jab hua tha, that time also we were also hit. They were trying to hit our underbelly, showing that there were so much problems during the construction events. The cameras were panned into the toilets and stuff. So I mean, they see what media thrives on is on negative publicity. It is not that I don't see any beggars on the road here in Germany. There are, but it is that they portray that we are a third world country and it only happens there and it doesn't happen here. So it happens everywhere, but that will should be there to give us such an event of such a scale to a country like India, or for example to any other part of the Asia. So if that happens, and then it should be. But one thing is there, with this 48 teams coming up in 2026 onwards, definitely we get a better chance. Like we are getting a better chance for us to be there. India has a better chance to qualify and be there. So such things are, and one, it just takes one qualification. If you once you qualify, then it will be like a wave, right? Everything changed after the 1983 World Cup win for cricket. Same way, if we can win a Asian Cup or something like that, it would change anything. I mean, like, there is so much craze for football as well, right? I was surprised to see the banner which they put in Kerala of Messi, like 40 feet banner of Messi. Where on earth you will see that? Yeah, I will not see that in Argentina as well. So I sent it to some of my Argentinian friends, and they were like stunned to see that. Oh my God, so much fan following! Now we better play well. They were saying that. So it is so much fan following is there. So it is very easy, very easy. If they give it to us, I have no doubts. But I'm sure we will have some great quality events coming to India very soon. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I would agree with you on that part. Considering we are hosting क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप नेक्स्ट 2023 में 50 ओवर वर्ल्ड कप होने वाला है इंडिया में, मगर वो क्रिकेट है, फुटबॉल का तो अलग ही मजा है क्योंकि बहुत सारे कंट्रीज देश खेलते हैं उसको. बट प्रशांत भाई, आई एंजॉयड दिस इंटरव्यू, और खास करके वो इंटरेक्शन ऑफ द फील्ड बियॉन्ड फुटबॉल वाले, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग थे और बहुत ज्यादा टॉपिकल थे और कंट्रोवर्सीज भी इन्वॉल्व थी. आई एम श्योर हमारे व्यूअर्स को अच्छा लगेगा. बट मुझे ये बताइए कि आप किसको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं? फुटबॉल की बात आई है तो फिर फुटबॉल की भी बातें होनी चाहिए थोड़ी. प्रशांत भाई,
वेल,
किसको सपोर्ट कर,
मैं
कौन जीत रहा है, हु इज
सपोर्ट
विनिंग?
तो मैं अर्जेंटीना को ही कर रहा हूँ फॉर मेसी. बट या बट एवरीबडी इज सेइंग, बट आई फील इंग्लैंड हैज अ बेटर चांस. बट अगर इस बार अगर इंग्लैंड जीत नहीं पाया तो फिर कभी नहीं जीत पाएगा. so so i I feel, but yeah, but Argentina, I would feel that let's Messi take the World Cup and then finish on a high. Yeah.
Absolutely. For me, it's either Ronaldo or Messi.
Yeah.
Whoever
So
wins.
yeah, it would be a good. It should be a good event. I'm 100% sure. Yeah, it will be exciting. At least we can see some great legends there, and well, hopefully they can finish on a high.
Absolutely. तो दोस्तों, ये था हमारा आज का कन्वर्सेशन. द ऑथर ऑफ कतर 2022, द नेशन दैट ड्रीम बिग, द टाइनी नेशन दैट ड्रीम बिग. बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग स्टोरी है. कंट्रोवर्सीज तो सबके साथ चलती है, सब घुले रहते हैं, कोई कोई अग्री करता है, कोई अग्री नहीं करता है, डिसअग्री करता है, सबके ओपिनियंस अपने अपने होते हैं. तो यहाँ पर हर कंट्री के ओपिनियंस हैं, हर सबका अलग कल्चर होता है. कतर का अपना एक कल्चर है. तो ये थी उनकी किताब, और आपको अगर
Yeah,
लेना है
pick
तो
it up,
कहाँ से
people,
लेना
pick it
चाहिए?
up.
अमेजोन पे?
Yes, it is
अमेजोन पे?
available on Amazon. So do pick it up. It is an interesting read, and if you are going to Qatar, you definitely pick it up.
हाँ, एब्सोल्युटली. और इफ यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू कतार, देन आल्सो यू शुड पिक इट अप, क्योंकि बहुत
Yes,
इंटरेस्टिंग यहाँ
do.
पर चीजें लिखी हैं यार. बहुत प्रशांत भाई
Yeah,
ने
you will
बहुत
get
अच्छी
a
अच्छी
get a
चीजें लिखी
complete
है.
view of you'll get a complete view of the Middle East, the culture, the football, the cuisine, whatever you want to know about the religion, whatever, you'll get everything and how people stay there. I think it's a must read.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and I'll definitely order one from Amazon very, very soon, and I think just before the World Cup. Anyway, this is 2 days away. For now, it's a goodbye. Thanks, Prashant bhai, for the time that you gave. बहुत ही अच्छा लगा, and I hope your book succeeds in this future. In fact, in this World Cup. For now, it's goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks, viewers. I hope you enjoy this interview. और प्रशांत भाई से हम जल्दी मिलेंगे और फुटबॉल की बातें भी करेंगे. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.